Let me introduce Jase really quickly. Jase is somebody that we have not known real well for a very long time. We know him really well now. We get to hang out with him every quarter. And so we've spent like the last 6 months with him and talking to him in different areas, and Facebook Messenger and phone and via video. But about 3, maybe 6 months ago, Jase and I and Jennifer were talking about his template that he had for putting presentations together. And Jase said, here, I'll give you this template and see if this is really going to help you build this presentation that you're working on. And I took it. I thought, well, it's a Word document. You know, how valuable can this be? And I followed this thing to the letter, though. And within, what, Jen, about 6 weeks, we generated over $100,000 with this webinar presentation based on Jase's template. So, you know, all of a sudden, I'm paying a lot more attention to Jase and getting to know him even better. And then I found out more about him and found out that Jase was one of the top selling people from the stage. So he's transferring all of his sales knowledge from the stage into webinars and presentations. So we really love working with Jase and understanding more and more about what he does, because he is so great at what he does. So Jase, I'm going to let you take this away, and we will sit in the background and answer any questions and take care of all the questions for you and anything else that you need, okay?
Yep, and one thing we do want to say here is that we would like to hold questions until the end if possible, just, you know, just to kind of keep everything addressed at one time.
Yep.
Cool. All right, so can you guys hear me okay? Because I was getting a little bit of signal loss there. All right,
yep,
great.
we're all good.
Can you see my screen?
Yep, we can.
Fantastic. So, quick question: Who at NAMS wants to make a difference? Who wants to save lives? And I don't mean like being a lifeguard. I mean like through your business, you make a massive contribution to a family or a business. Who wants to impact your family, your community, your loved ones? And how about this? Who would like to make a huge, radical jump in your income? You're about to discover how I went from making a total of $2,000 in 6 months, and I hope nobody on this call thinks that's a lot of money, to making $96,000 in sales in an hour and a half using speaking. Now, when I say speaking, I want you to think live or on webinars. It works perfect both ways. So the missing skill for your income, you're also going to discover how to get more referrals and repeat business, how to have more confidence, how to increase your sales, and how to use stories to sell more. Really, we're going to talk about how to do profitable presentations. I'm also going to show you today how to do a value stack so more people say yes to your offer. And kind of the theme for this presentation is the hidden things that really work for sales. And remember, when I say sales or speaking, I'm talking about online, in person one-to-one, or in front of a group. By the way, David and Jen, if you guys want to chip in at any time, I love the two-way conversation, so it's fine with me. So this is the secrets of profitable presentations is what we're talking about today. So you're about to discover these. And, you know, before I go on, I want to share with you why I do what I do. I do it because I believe that you were born to make a difference. I believe whatever religion, whatever you believe in, that you have a God-given mission that only you can do, and it can be fulfilled and funded through your business. So I believe with that when you speak, when you do presentations live to a group or on a webinar, you become someone new. I think you become the person you always wanted to be. You make a bigger impact, and you massively grow your profits. Before I go on, I got to say thank you. I want to say thank you to you for tuning in today. And I also want to say thanks for being a part of NAMS and letting me come into your community today. And also, I was at the training that Jen and David did like a month ago. And I have to tell you guys, you are such a lovely group of people. And it really doesn't surprise me because like attracts like. And I just also got to say a huge big thank you to David and Jen. Hope I don't embarrass you too much, but I have rarely met two business owners and people in this space who contribute and share and are as generous as you two are. And I'm in a high-level mastermind with David and Jen. I've got to hang out with them multiple times. And especially with Jen, we have had some really, really awesome adventures. And Jen, if you're muted, don't worry, I won't share more than that. So I just want to tell you I love you guys. So since we're going to spend some time together, is it okay if I tell you a little bit about me? I want to know who is sharing with you. That's me. That's what I look like. I just went to Iceland recently. I'm on Yelp. I've got tons of great reviews, and I lead seminars. I'm in the middle there in the white shirt with the black jacket. That's one of my events. So have you guys heard of Good Morning America? Well, I wasn't on that show, but I was on a show called The Daily Buzz, and I've been on news a whole bunch of times. And some of these slides I'm going to go over pretty fast because I just want to share things with you. I've been in a few movies. I was in the movie Pass It On with Evander Holyfield and Rudy and a bunch of other thought leaders. I've been in a bunch of books. I spoke at Harvard, and when I was there, I met the most interesting man in the world, and that was pretty cool. I'm really blessed. I have a great life, and because I learned to sell and I learned the secrets of profitable presentations, I have a great lifestyle, and this is really critical, with time for what's important. So for me, what's important is I love to travel. These are different adventures I've been on. And one of the things, if you're taking notes at home, please write this down. When you can sell a lot very quickly, you have time for what's important. When you can sell quickly, you have time for what's important. So if you learn to sell, you can travel or do whatever you want. I love to go on adventures. Here we went to hot springs. This was a cruise I took. So my background personally, I've been a top trainer at a nationally known seminar company. I've grown my business from public presentations for 15 years, and I've been leading events since 2002. So by the way, I sponsored an event, and it's really weird to see your picture on a sign. It's the strangest thing. So I've been leading events. Here's just a couple of pictures of events I've done over the last couple of years. And what we focus on in these events is helping business owners use presentations to massively grow their business. So these are some fun ones. Right in the middle there is a buddy of mine, Kevin, who's in Defending the Caveman. What I like to do is teach people when they're going to present, you've got to be entertaining. So we have a huge focus on bringing entertainers to come to our events. Here we're having some fun. So you get the idea. We'd like to have fun, and we'd like to. Since I love to do it, is I get to give back. This is a mission trip. I went to Nicaragua, and we built a retaining wall around a church, and we put in a playground. And this was in Ghana, Africa, and this was really special. One of my favorite memories about Ghana was two things. One, we taught entrepreneurship to little villages to help them be more successful and make more money so they can improve their quality of life. The other thing we did is there's a outreach there that saves children from being child slaves. Evidently, there's a huge child slave thing. And so they've built a school, and they convinced these fishermen to give up the slave and not take another one. And so we got to hang out with these kids who went from being basically indentured servant slaves to being kids, and we got to love on them and tell them how great they were. And the reason I share that is I had a period, and I'll tell you a little bit more in a moment, where money was just tight. And I have discovered the more money I make, the more people I can help. The more money I make, the more time I have for what's important. The more money I make, it's a lot easier to go on trips like this. It's a lot easier to donate money. So while I'm going to talk a lot about money on this webinar, I want you to think about, what's your mission? What's the community that you want to touch? Who are the lives that you want to touch? So this is also me. I do a keto. I'm a black belt, but don't be too impressed, because more often than not, I look like that. I look like the guy on the left as opposed to the guy on the right. And then here's my dog. Oh, I took out the picture of Napa. I have a dog, Napa. And right now, I'm actually in Boise, Idaho. I wanted to work on my health. So because of my ability with profitable presentations, I was able to come to Idaho for 2 weeks, and I checked into a place where they're totally rebooting my brain chemistry, my gut chemistry. We're working out every morning at 6:30, and sometimes we're doing 2 a days, and just 3 days in, I can already feel my body's changing, and I'm only able to do that because of profitable presentations. So I'm blessed by God to make a difference. And write this down. Here's one of the things I say to myself: whatever your religion, I want to get your mindset right when you go into sales. Here's what I say to myself every single time I'm going to do a presentation. I say, God, may their life be better forever because I was here, whether they work with me or not. So if you're doing a one-to-one sales presentation or if you're doing a one-to-many, I encourage you to say something like that to yourself. May my audience's life be better forever. May my prospect's life be better forever because I was here, whether they work with me or not. And make it really about serving them. Make it about them succeeding. So the rough times. I've shared with you some of the great stuff I've had, but it wasn't always this way. I well on stage, and back then it was mostly on stage. I wasn't doing webinars and things. And I was rocking it. I was doing super, super good. But then sometimes I was doing really bad. And the challenge was I didn't know why. I didn't know what I was doing when I sold well, and I didn't know what I was doing when I bombed. And if you're in sales at all, if you're in business, you've probably been there. Sometimes the sales come and it feels great, and sometimes the sales don't come and it feels horrible. And sometimes we feel like I don't know what I'm doing wrong. What is the problem here? And it got really frustrating. And so one time I'm at an event and I bombed. I sold nothing. And in these arenas, the promoter who had me speak to his group would typically make a percentage of the profits. And when I bombed and sold nothing, I didn't just make $0. I had to pay for my travel and I had to pay for my lodging. So I actually lost money. And I was really down. And so the promoter sent his assistant to take me out. And so not take me out like kill me, I mean take me out to dinner. So the promoter sends his assistant to take me to dinner. And I'm thinking, well, this guy's gonna give me a pep talk. That'll be nice. And so the promoter's assistant looks at me during dinner and he says, Jase, we would like to invite you not to come back. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm what? And I was like, that's the worst pep talk ever. That's a horrible pep talk. And it really hurt. And at some point, I just really got tired of not having consistent sales. And so one day I sat down and I said, I have got to make a change with this. What am I doing when I succeed? And what am I not doing when I bomb? And so I said, I got to figure this out. And I had been really studying sales intensively, and I poured myself into it. And I started studying social cues and all these different influence things. And I created a template, I created a system, and I had a breakthrough. The breakthrough was I created a template and a system, and I started rocking my presentations. I figured out what needs to be in a presentation to make big money. What needs to be in a presentation to have people say yes? And I figured out too, what are the couple of mistakes that I was making that if I quit making those, I'd get a lot more sales. So I created that template, and here's what happened soon thereafter. I got a call from a guy, and he introduced me to someone named Mike, and Mike holds these big events. And so I'm talking to Mike about speaking at his big event coming up in February. And right now it's around September. How you could do on stage. Let's see how you can do with a public presentation. I'm going to give you a chance to come and try out to my people. So in November of that year, I flew up and I did a presentation for some of Mike's people. But Mike told me before the presentation, you're not allowed to sell anything. This is a no sales environment. This is really just a tryout. I said, okay. So I used my template and I used my system and I rocked that presentation. And at the end of my presentation, Mike comes over to me and he whispers in my ear and he goes, let's sell your stuff. And I said, I thought I wasn't supposed to sell. And he goes, no, they're loving it. Let's just sell your stuff. So we made an offer and I sold as much in that one day as 25% of my previous year's income. It was great. So I sat down with Mike afterwards and Mike looks me in the eye and he says, I want to invite you. And then I flashed back to that other dinner and I said, oh no, I thought I did good. But then Mike looks me in the eye and he says, I want to invite you to speak to my people 4 times a year. I'll pay you monthly and you can sell your stuff every time. And that was a few years ago. And since then, that one presentation has been worth hundreds of thousands of dollars to me with making sales to that environment, getting paid monthly. And this is something that Jen, David, and I talked about on the Facebook Live the other day. If you crush it on one webinar, if you crush it on one stage presentation, it can make your business for a year. One stage can bring in hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. So I started rocking it. So the breakthrough was the template, and the template rocked. So here I am on Mike's stage. It's a multi-100-person stage. I wish I had a better picture for you guys. Here's the thing I want you to get though. I'm not special. It's not like I have some innate, born-in ability to be great and make a ton of sales. I'm not special, but the system is special. And this is really critical. I see too many business owners go into environments and they want to succeed, they want to help people, they want to make money, but they don't have a system for sales. They focus on their business, but they don't focus on learning what works to make sales. So the system is special. And some of you got this download. This is Alicia. I met Alicia one night at a little training thing, and I was a guest speaker, and she was telling me she had a presentation the next morning. So I gave her a copy of my system, my template that I had created. And she said, after viewing the one-of-a-kind presentation, I was able to put what I learned into immediate action. I used your template. I completely rewrote my approach, felt total confidence in my new content. And then this is the best part. I had people handing me their business cards, asking to work with me, coming off stage, and I booked 3 appointments on the spot. She also told me later on, she literally had a couple people hand her credit cards. How would you walked off stage, multiple people said yes to working with you? That's the power of profitable public presentations. And this brings me to why I'm here. So I was having the success with my business, and I wanted to help other people help other people. So you've heard that thing about if you drop a pebble in a pond, the ripple that goes out is the difference you make. I had this vision of a lot of people dropping a lot of pebbles in a lot of ponds. And so my mission now is to empower as many business owners who care about people to do as much business as they can and to make as much money as they can so they can help as many people as they can. Because I figure if I do that together, we're going to make the world a better place. When your business wins, you're going to help people, right? When your business wins, you're going to have people do better in life because they work with you, whatever your business is. Like Jen and David, when someone works with NAMS, their business takes off and their life gets better. And I know whatever you're offering, you want other people's life to get better. So that's what this is about. So let's talk about some of them. The challenges today is people aren't making enough sales. Businesses are going out of business. Your messages are being heard. Bills, debt, stress, working for money, not life, contribution, and fulfillment. And the opportunity is now because few people know how to do a really profitable presentation. If you can speak well, people talk. Presenters talk, promoters talk, webinar hosts talk. And if you speak locally, people who run meetings talk. You will get invited back over and over. When you can sell, you could succeed in any business. Profitable presentations can be done by anyone who has the right training. And if you're good on stage, you will get a lot of clients. So public presentations are the #1 fastest way to grow your business. If you want to grow your business, there's no two ways about it. You're not going to get to the level you want doing one-offs, doing one-to-one sales only. It's time to step into doing public presentations, whether live or over the internet, that's going to really grow your business. So let's talk about profitable presentations. I call it the fastest, cheapest, easiest way to grow your business. There's 7 ways you can profit. When you can rock a stage, whether it's a webinar or a live stage, you can rock it. Here's #1. You'll sell more of your products and services. So #2, you're going to sell from stage. You can learn how to make offers. So instead of if you're going to have 20 one-on-one appointments, it might take you 20 hours. If you could get 20 people in a room, you can sell all 20 at once in the space of 2 hours. So now you've saved a bunch of time, but what also can happen is you're going to make more sales. You're going to get paid to keynote. If you could rock a stage, you'll get paid to keynote speech. You'll pick up coaching clients. You have products and services like actual CDs, DVDs, audios. You can set up a membership site and a high-level mastermind. So when you get positioned as an expert, it opens up all these extra ancillary ways to make money. So let's talk about stories. Stories sell. So now let's get into some of the the hidden things in presentations that you can use to start making more money now. I say people buy stories, not stuff. They buy the stories you tell and the stories they hope to tell by buying your stuff. In other words, the stories you tell about your clients or people who have used your business or in general, your audience will listen to those stories. And when they take that story in, they'll be like, oh my gosh, I want to be like this person. I want to have that outcome. So I'm going to give you some examples. Now, disclaimer, all these stories I'm going to tell are about my business. I figure if I'm taking the time to teach, I might as well put in some plugs about my business. And frankly, this is exactly what I do to make more sales on stage. When I speak now, thank you God, typically I get the highest reviews and I'm one of the top selling people from stage. So let's talk about some stories, give you guys some examples. So first thing is, I want you to write down stories that leverage a well-known name. If you can find a testimonial or something and leverage that into your presentation, it gives you more clout and standing. So let's look at this. Have you guys heard of TED Talks? I think everybody has by nowadays. So I had a woman named Rhonda that came to one of my events, and Rhonda was terrified of doing public speaking to grow her business. And she had a huge breakthrough. At my event, we really focus on your mindset for success. And so she had this huge breakthrough and she got that speaking and selling, and David said it so beautifully today, speaking and selling is really about serving. And so she got that her speaking wasn't just about her, it was about making a difference. And so she's like ready to get on stage. And the last day of the event, she happened to get an email that said, would you like to apply to be a TEDx speaker? So she showed me the email on her phone. She said, Jase, do you think I should sign up? Do you think I should apply? And I said, of course you should apply. So she applies for it. And at the event, we do scripting, delivery, and mindset training. So she worked on her delivery, and you have to try out if you want to do a TEDx. At least where I was living in Vegas, you have to try out. So she went down there, she rocked her presentation, and she got on the TEDx stage. So here's Rhonda speaking at Fremont East Women Independent TEDx event. So Rhonda went from terrified of public speaking to, check this out. Here's Rhonda. She spoke at TEDx. This was her first public speaking presentation since junior high. How cool is that? And this is an important point though. Great speakers are not born, they're made. All right, now I'm going to take a time story about Rhonda to break down what I just did. Now, this is a pretty cool story, right? And it's interesting, and hopefully you're feeling something like, yay, Rhonda, go Rhonda. But what did I weave in there? I talked about Rhonda went to my event, and that's where she had a mental breakthrough. So what I'm subtly saying is when people go to my event, they'll have the mental breakthroughs that will allow them to succeed in business and succeed at speaking. So hopefully you guys are feeling that. And now as I'm doing this, I want you to hear the message I'm saying, like, hey, my event's great, but I also want you to be thinking about how can you start telling stories like this that subtly sell your business? And then to reinforce the value of my training, I talked about how Rhonda had to go try out. So she went down there and she delivered and she got the spot. And I tied that back to we do delivery training at my event. So when I'm selling that event, I want the audience to think, wow, these people have had success. How did they have it? Oh, they went to that event. But I don't want to just say, my event's so good, my event's so good. I want to say, look at what this person did. So let's take a look at another one. Oh, and then right after that, she landed her first paid speaking gig and she made way more sales for her business. She does, if you guys have heard of Chicken Soup for the Soul, she's designed a book cover for them. She's an award-winning artist who does book covers. And her business is growing for public presentation. So next thing is personal touching stories, stories that excite the imagination. So give you a quick background before I tell this next story. In 2013, I did a cross-country speaking tour. I believe that if I help entrepreneurs win and then their business wins, their cities will do better, their states will do better, and eventually, if more entrepreneurs do better, America will do better. So I did a thing called the USA Victory Tour, and I toured cross-country, and I did speaking engagements, and I sold a product set that I had that teaches people how to do more one-to-one sales. So I did this thing nationwide. So I hurt my back a couple of years ago, and last year I was in aquafit class, like aqua aerobics, And there was this lady teaching the aquafit class in Vegas, and she was really sweet. She had to be in her 70s, and she looks at me and she says, well, what do you do? And I said, I'm a speaker. And she said, what's your name? And I said, Jase. And she goes, oh, I know a speaker named Jase. And we're in aquafit class, like hanging out after class, having this conversation. And she says, I know a Jase. And I'm thinking, how in the world do you know a Jase who's a speaker? I've never heard of other speakers named Jase. And I said, well, what's he speak about? She goes, oh, he's a big deal. He sells these sales trainings and they cost $2,000 and they're really great. And I'm thinking, sales training, I don't, 2,000. I'm like, that sounds like for some more details. And she goes, oh, he did this thing called the USA Victory Tour. And so I looked at her and I said, that's me. I'm that Jase. And so she blushed like a teenager and she goes, oh my gosh. But here's the best part of this story. She's in her 70s and she's making money to pay for her retirement. Like, this is really critical. She's doing real estate as an agent because she has to keep working. And she told me because she bought my product set, she doubled her income in 1 year. She went from 35,000 a year to 70,000 a year. And I got to see that my speaking and my products made a difference in her life. Okay, so now let's do another timeout. Let's jump out of the story, debrief what I just did. That's it. By the way, that's a true story. And as far as I know, all my stories are true. So here's the thing. You have to tell true stories and don't fudge numbers. All the things I just told you are absolutely true. So, sorry, I just got distracted by something. So you have to tell stories that are true. So let's look at what I did in that presentation. I told the story about someone who used my product and they doubled their income. So the subconscious influence there is, if you use my product, you can have similar results. So when I get on stage and I tell this, or if I tell it on a webinar when I'm selling my product, I don't have to sit there and go, here's how great my stuff is. I can just weave stories, and through the weaving of stories, people will get the value. So let's look at another one. How you buy is how you sell. Really write this down. If you're going to start doing public presentations, I think you need to put a story in that's similar to this. Where David, Jen, and I met is in a high-level internet marketers mastermind, and I shared this concept with one of the internet marketers in the room, and he has since applied it to his webinars, and he told me that his sales has taken a huge jump. So here's the context of the story. I'm about to tell you a story that imparts the importance of being someone who says yes fast. Here's why. How you buy is how you sell. If you're someone who buys slow, you will sell slow. If you're someone who doesn't buy, you will not sell. What I have found is the most successful people in the world buy quickly. The most successful people in the world buy fast. They buy now. So I need to teach my audience that they need to be fast buyers. And as evidence for this, when David, Jen, and I were in that mastermind and I was sharing this concept, I looked around the room and I said, all right, when you're at an event and someone puts something for sale, how many of you are first to the table? Every single hand in the room went up. And everyone there said, yeah, I'm normally first at the table. And what dawned on everybody is we are successful in business because we move fast and we say yes fast. And it's not that because our business is successful, we have the money to buy things. It's because we've said yes fast and we figured out the money that's allowed us to be successful in business. So this is a story I tell to make that point. I was at an event and a speaker had something for sale and I knew I wanted it, so I went to the table. And if you look at this picture, who's around us? Nobody. And I think this is a great example of business and life. What most people do is they wait for other people to tell them to go. They wait for other people to tell them to say yes or to buy now. And really they get into a habit of waiting for other people to tell them how to do their life. You can't do that. So my friend Bill and I realized we want this product. Let's go buy it. So here's Bill and I, and everybody else is waiting to be told to go. What was really interesting is about 10 minutes later, that speaker said, hey, if you want my product, go to the back and sign up. And there was a line like 6 people deep and people are fighting for scraps. Well, if you learn to become someone who, I call it fire your own starting gun, if you learn to be someone who buys fast, if you say yes quickly, you don't have to fight the crowds because you'll win. It's called first to market. The way that maps to your business is if you will go out and start rocking presentations as fast as you can, if you'll say yes fast, you'll be the first one selling and you're not going to have to fight with the competition, right? So let me pause and kind of jump out of the presentation. So what I'm doing through that story is I'm teaching people to buy fast. Well, I'm doing it for multiple reasons. One is I want them to buy fast. I want people who hear this to buy my stuff quickly. The other thing is I want people to get the life lesson of moving fast because it really was true. And it really sunk home when I was in that mastermind and I said, who's the first at the table? Every person in that room, their hand shot up, and it's a practice. If you wait, then life waits. If you move fast, then life moves fast. So I'm going to keep rolling. So now let's talk about how to use effective testimonials and social proof. So there's have you ever heard of a testimonial that says, oh, so-and-so's product, let's say Mary has a product. Mary is really great. You should use it. That is a completely ineffective testimonial. Or if they say, I went to this event and it was so awesome. There's nothing to take away from that. So I want to give you, if you're writing down, it's not going to be on the screen, I'm going to give you the format for an effective testimonial. An effective testimonial, or if you're going to start getting more reviews for like Yelp or anything else, has kind of a before and after flair to it. So here's what you want to have people start doing in the testimonials they give you. First, i.e., I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm a business owner, like niche. You want to get them to share the niche they're in, and then to share where they were and the challenge they had, the breakthrough from working with you, and where they are now. So here's some examples.
Sorry.
Yes.
I want you to start over on that because you're cutting out occasionally. And for some reason with GTW, we're not sure why. But anyway, if you would start over with that to make sure we get the entire piece of that, okay?
I can, and you know what? I can, if it would help, I could call in instead of streaming through the audio on the computer. Do you think that would help, David?
It might help. It might help.
All right. I'm a man, so I have a hard time doing multiple things at once. Let me get the.
Yeah, we had some other folks say they were having some issues with the sound on GoToWebinar, so hopefully this will fix it. And I'll edit this out in the middle.
Yeah. So I'm assuming Jase is off making his phone call in. So far, I'm loving the way Jase is breaking down the stories that we hear, that he's telling, because what he's doing is effectively telling us what the sales process is or the story is, and then telling us how it fits into the sales process. So this makes a lot of sense.
I love being able to it's like this deconstructing the actual, the piece of it.
Me, I'm back.
There we go. Perfect.
That's fun.
Is that better? I dialed in. Yes. You know, I apologize if you're watching, if you missed parts. I'm not in my normal office. Like I said, I went to Idaho for this health retreat body makeover thing. So maybe it's not as good where I am. I apologize. Can you hear me okay now?
Good. Yeah, it does sound good.
Okay, good. So let me jump back into the steps for getting effective testimonials and social proof. So you don't want to just have people say, oh, it was great. There's nothing to that. There's no juice to it. You want to get testimonials that someone who's reading the testimonial can buy into it. Here's an example. I do a comedy hypnosis show, or at least I used to, as entertainment, and I was listed on Yelp. And one day a woman was thinking about hiring me, and she yelled my Yelp reviews. Oh no, this is actually for speaking gig. And we're negotiating a contract, and she said, I really want to use you. I know that your presentations are engaging and fun, and the audience really learns. And I'm thinking to myself, how in the world did she know that? I said, and I asked her, I said, how do you know that? She goes, oh, a friend told me. And then she paused, and she goes, oh, wait, I read it on Yelp. And in that moment, I realized something. When people read social reviews of you, or when they see testimonials, if it has
the right delivery to it, they will receive a social review as if a friend is giving them guidance. So as you're starting to collect your testimonials and reviews, here's the format. Have your clients, someone who's used you and really loves you, give a testimonial where they identify who they are, like a business owner, a man, woman, beginner, experienced, so that people who are like them can identify with them. And the more specific it is, the better. And then instead of having them say, you should do this or you should do that, which is super ineffective. Like when I see a testimonial and someone says, you should do X, Y, Z, I think to myself, who are you to tell me what to do? What's way more powerful is when the person giving the testimonial says, here was my experience and here's what's happened for my life. At that point, then I can buy into it and I can go, oh, wow, that's awesome. The results they got. I want that. And I'm much more likely to call up the service provider who has that testimonial. So when you're doing the testimonials, you want your person to identify themselves, share their experience, and tell a little bit of a before and after story, i.e., where they are now, the breakthrough they had from working with you, and where they got to because they worked with you. That's the perfect time or the perfect way to do it. So let's look at a couple of examples. So this is Judy Schwartz. Now, she's not, I don't think she's going to give us a before. Maybe she will. You're training to form it. You create a louder team. Here's her before, which had no previous speaker training. So people who have no speaker training that are looking at this testimonial, considering my event, are going to look at this and go, huh, she had no speaker training. I have no speaker training. Maybe I should go there. To create and deliver a presentation that wowed the crowd, brought them to a level we never could before. So in just a couple of sentences, she has shared her before and after. And then she says, we had a major office. Oh, sorry, it clicked that too fast. We had a major office tell us that we would now be their provider of choice. So now here is her win. So we had a major office tell us that we were their new favorite provider of choice. So you can see before, no training. After, able to create and deliver a presentation, outcome, had a major office. So much more effective than someone just saying, oh, it was great. David, are you there? Did that make sense? And did you hear all of it?
No, absolutely. And this is actually something I struggle with. We don't do a very good job of collecting testimonials because we don't have a good format like this to suggest to people what we want them to do in the testimonial. So this is great.
Oh, great. Thank you. And it's really something that's not, most people don't know how to do it. And that's why I'm teaching it here, because I found it so much more effective. Now here, let's look at third-party testimonials. I love it when people say great things about my business. Here's what I love more. If I can find a third-party validation for someone who's used my product or service. So as you are starting to work with clients, and especially if you do anything that has kind of intensive work where you can track your client's progress, watch their Facebook page and see what happens. So I'm going to show you a testimonial that's a third-party testimonial for some clients of mine. They were going to speak at this big event, and they wanted to really rock the stage. So they came to my 3-day training, and I also did some one-on-one work with them. And so they posted a picture of them on stage. So here's Rob and Michelle Hopkin, and they're from Maryland. And Michelle posted, Rob and I spoke for an hour at our conference. Thank you, Jase, for all your help. We couldn't have crushed it without your coaching, which is super cool. They got like a standing ovation. They moved the crowd. They got them laughing and crying. It was fantastic. But here's what's better to me. Greg Bryan, who's down here, oh, I guess you can't see my mouse, but he's the second comment, said, both of you really inspired the conference. Thank you for the hard work and outstanding presentation. Susan said, that's exciting. Congrats. Jen Papa said, you were both fantastic and inspiring. Thank you. Rob said, great leaders. Love you guys. So I could tell you my speaker training's good, but if you see like this and people in the audience saying, like Michelle Perry says, you were both great. Thanks for being part of our life. It's so much more powerful when that third party comes. So when I'm selling my speaker training, I'll make sure I show this on the screen, similar to how I'm doing now. And then what you want to do when you're sharing these is bring things out, make it easier for people to read. So I'll make it blown up like that. Rob and I spoke for an hour, and I'll put it in a box and I'll frame it. And then I want to do that with a couple of the comments also. Jen said you were both fin. So you get what I'm doing here? So what I'm doing is if the audience is sitting in a room or a webinar. It might be hard to see it, those little comments on that screen. I want it to be big, and I want people to see what I'm doing. So, Jen or David, quick question for you guys. When I say I'm popping in and out of the presentation, are you guys following what I'm doing by giving you kind of the psychology behind what I'm doing?
Actually, when you were out dialing in, we were telling people exactly about the process you're using, and we love the way you're deconstructing this. So yeah, absolutely.
Oh, cool. I'm sorry I missed that. All right, awesome, great. So let me show you guys a couple of more. So let me rewind. So first I showed you Rob and Michelle, and this is from like February 26th, this picture. So now it's going to be a few months after the speaking gig, because that was February 26th. So one of the things I want you to start doing with your testimonials and reviews is tracking progress over time, or follow up over time. Please write that down, follow up over time. I've seen far too many testimonials that people seem to be just jacked up in the moment. And then I think, yeah, but how are they 2 months later, 3 months later, a year later? So I followed up with Rob and Michelle, and now it's March, it's a month later. And notice the text is small, so I want to blow it up, make it easier. So it's helping us fine tune our message and perfect our delivery. We've been rocking presentations. Michelle, Lexi, and I have had office managers schedule us for repeat visits before we even leave. Many agents and managers have told us we're the most professional, well-trained speakers they ever had in their office. Boom, great review. And you notice this literally is a screen cap of the email that Rob sent me. Did I ask for him to send me an email testimonial? Maybe, probably. It's a part of it. You've got to put the energy into collecting the social proof so people know you can do what you say you can do. So then we want to show some numbers though. I also want to thank you for giving us the confidence we can do this in a big way. And if you're watching, would you like to have more confidence in your presentation? Would you like to be confident you can sell like crazy? Here's what happens when you get confident. We'll do about 130,000 for the month, a record for March. Is that cool? Or how many of you guys would like to have a $130,000 month? I'll tell you what, they're a lot better than a $1,300 month. So got to give a quick disclaimer, SEC and all that stuff. I can't guarantee you $130,000 a month, but I can guarantee you the same training they got. So now let's jump in and talk a little bit about scripting and go from there. So let's talk about sales saves lives. And I want to talk about the importance of one-to-one sales and how one-to-one sales fits into your every aspect of your business. There's 4 critical parts of any business, and I'm going to just give them to you really fast. The first part of any business is marketing. That's making people aware of you. The second part of any business is the sale. The sale is when people say yes to working with you. The third part is when you do your business, you deliver your product or you do your service. And then the fourth step is when you get the referral, the repeat, or the upsell. Now, so it's marketing, sales, delivering, and then the referral, the repeat, or the upsell. Now let's break down and look at how important communication is. And the first step, marketing, is simply a form of communication. It's letting people know you're available and around. It's communication. And even if you're sending a mass email or you're marketing online, your communication needs to be one-to-one because you're talking from you to another human being. The second step is the sale, whether it's an online offer or it's a one-to-one in-person sale or over the phone, you're selling one-to-one. That's a form of communication. The third step is when you deliver your product or service. How happy people are is really given by how well you communicate during the delivery. So now communication comes in step 3, and then step 4, the referral, the repeat, or the upsell. People do not naturally give you the referrals. It doesn't always happen that they come back. It doesn't happen just by accident that they buy the upsell. You have to know how to ask for it through using communication. And the kind of communication we're talking about in all 4 aspects of the business is one-to-one sales. One-to-many is what takes you to the next level. One-to-one is integral for your success. So if communication is present in all 4 aspects, how important is communication? Is it something you can learn later? You got to learn now. Robert Kiyosaki, in his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, says that communication is the base skill of personal success. Be it a boss, spouse, parent, or child, your ability to communicate to another human being is the base skill of personal success. And I say sales saves lives because when you learn how to sell massively, you make a big difference in someone's life. You have no idea what someone's going through. And then you also make the money to do more marketing, to take care of other people, and then do more of what you love to do. It really makes you have a great life. And the best way to sell is stories. Stories sell. People are watching dramas and comedies a lot more than documentaries. So you need to use your stories to make a point and overcome objections. Now, this is something what high-level people who sell in public presentations do that most people aren't aware of. They don't tell stories by accident. They tell stories on purpose to make a point. So one of the things I know when I'm going to sell is that people have bought stuff before that was either great or maybe some stuff that wasn't great. And maybe if I'm doing a live event or I'm selling online, someone said, well, don't buy anything. So I need to overcome that objection. I need to overcome the lack of money objection. Well, I could just harangue people, but that's not going to get anywhere. Instead, please write this down. You need to teach people how to overcome their objections. So here's a story I tell, and it's another true story. It was my first time. It was in 2001, and I was at a wealth building event, and my mom was next to me because she didn't really have money for retirement. I wanted to help her, and I wanted to get ahead. I was doing okay, but I wanted to do better. And this guy got on stage, and he sold the course, and it was $1,500. And I went to stand up and buy his course, and my mom grabbed my, and by the way, I'd never bought anything that was that expensive before. Like, that was like $1 million to me. So my mom grabs my jacket, and she literally pulls me back down on my seat, and she says, "You're not going to buy it, are you?" So in that moment, is my mom trying to hurt me, or is my mom trying to help me by protecting me? She's trying to protect me. So what I need to do in that moment, I know people, so I'm going to jump out of the story for a second. I know people in the audience have had something similar happen. Their spouse or someone said, "Hey, you've been investing all this money in your business. When is it going to pay off? Haven't you bought enough stuff? Maybe you should just get a job." I need to overcome that. So now I'm going to jump back into the story. So I looked at my mom, and I thank God that guy was so persuasive on stage, because in spite of her resistance and in spite of my fear, I bought his seminar, and it changed my life. And I started going to all the seminars I could. And midway through these seminars, my mom calls me and she says, "Don't you think you've done enough seminars?" And I said, "No, Mom, I'm educating myself. I know what I need to keep doing." And then within 2 years of my first seminar I went to, I launched my own company. I increased my income by about 1,000% because I started speaking and selling my business from stage. And I took my mom on her first class vacation ever. We went to Mexico, kind of place you pull up and they hand you a mimosa when you pull up. And so now my mom calls me and she has a different question. Her new question is, "When's your next seminar?" So let me jump out of the story. You get how I did that? I could teach people in the audience how to overcome their objections by telling my story. So talk about stories. This is Phil Borgstrom. He learned how to tell stories in his presentation. Someone that was in the audience actually came up to him and gave him this card. And she said, "Great to meet you. Your life story was interesting. I look forward to building a business relationship with you. See you next Tuesday." And so Phil told me he booked 2 speaking engagements for next week, speaking every week since the last class. He means the class he came to with me. Sounds crazy, but they asked me to speak an additional half hour. They all committed to working with us. And it's because Phil learned how to tell stories. And if you notice in her card, she wrote, "Your story was interesting." The next thing is your mindset. We've got to work on your mindset to succeed. We need a great you. A great you on stage depends on a great mindset. Real quick, when I talk about mindset, I want to give you guys a disclaimer. I'm not one of the speakers who was perfect. I grew up average and insecure. But I put in the time, and I put in the time to change the way I thought, to change the way I worked, and to change my focus on people so that I can really pop and do a big thing in the world through public speaking. So for you, your mindset, here's real quick what your mindset needs to be. That you were born to make a difference, and that you're going to do all you can to help people, even if it means sending them to work with someone else, and that you're going to do all you can to make the sale. When you're doing a presentation, you're allowed to make an offer, whether it's one-to-one or one-to-many, you've got an hour or so to get a yes that could change that person's life forever, and change your life. Your life changes because your bank account goes up and you get to do more what you want to do. Their life changes because they win from working with you. So here's a way to do everything you can to make sales. So I'm going to show you what's called a value stack. Now, this is the value stack I use when I'm selling my home study course. I'll tell you a quick story about someone who used my value stack. So time out for the presentation. I'm about to teach you something, but to get you to really want to learn it, I need to show you some social proof. So I'm going to tell a quick story to establish social proof, to establish that the chunk works, and then I'm going to jump back into the chunk. So here we go with the story. A friend of mine named Darren LaCroix is the world champion of Toastmasters in 2001. And so now Darren teaches people how to go around the country, and he teaches people he goes around the country, speaks at Toastmaster meetings, and he teaches people how to be great Toastmaster speakers. So Darren had a bunch of products and services he was selling, and he'd sell like a $245 thing and a $300 thing and a $47 thing. And Darren had an opportunity to speak to a group that maybe was higher price point. So what I helped Darren do was create a value stack that instead of just selling this little thing and this little thing and this little thing and this little thing, he created this one massive package that had huge value that was worth like $3,000 that he discounted to, I think, $1,200. And he made more sales in that one day after I helped him with his presentation than he had ever made. I believe he spoke to something like 6 people, and he did somewhere around $7,200 in sales. Not bad for an hour presentation, right? And it came because he learned a value stack. So here's what a value stack looks like. I have a thing called, this is a home study course. It's what to say and how to say it. And the real world value is $495. And this teaches people a system I created for selling one-to-one. So it's how to create rapport, ways to get people to listen, read body language, get people to ask you to work with them. It's a fantastic system. So it's $495. And then this one's reading body language. Reading body language teaches people when to close, and the real world value is $150. And when I'm selling this, I talk to people and say, hey, the importance of knowing when to close is it's kind of like the first time you're going to kiss someone. If you go for the kiss too early, you lose the deal. If you go for the kiss too late, you lose the deal. Same thing in business. If you go for the close too early, you lose the deal. If you go for the close too late, you lose the deal. So that's $150. And then a big thing people do wrong in business is their language patterns kill deals because they say the wrong thing. So you need to use your words to subconsciously influence yourself and your audience. Have language patterns that create action and success. So the real world value on that's $150. And then personality types. If you're in a sales environment and you don't know how to speak the personality type of your audience, you will lose the deal, whether it's one-to-one or one-to-many. Because typically what happens, most people sell the way they buy. So if they like details, they give details. If they just want results, they give results. But that doesn't mean that your prospect thinks that way. Your prospect, if you need to know, do they want details, or do they want relationship, or do they want fun, or do they just want results? And then you've got to tailor the way you deliver your presentation to them. Now, if you're speaking publicly, you need to weave personality types in. If you've noticed on this call, I've had times I'm having fun, times I've touched the heart, times I've given details, and times I've just gotten the results and showed the money. I want to speak to all 4 in my presentation, and I invite and encourage you to do the same. You've got to think about when you write your script for one-to-one or one-to-many, how can you deliver that information for 4 different personality types? So that CD sets $150, and then here's how to position yourself to be chosen in the market so people know you, trust you, and love you before you even meet. That's $150. And here's my one about writing killer presentations. That's $150. And then this one's really cool. Listen to this before you speak or before you do a sales presentation. We're going to rebrand this called the selling zone because that really explains it more. It gets you in the mindset of selling, but not like get them, more like, hey, let's go serve this person and make a difference. And through that, life will get better for everybody. And then we'll make more money. And then there's the expert marketing blueprint, what you need to grow your business, how to serve your clients better, 5 ways to make money, a comprehensive positioning plan. So this is a value stack. And normally when I'm doing this live, I would take more time, but I'm just showing you guys what it looks like. I now stack the value. I take everything I'm offering and I show it all on the page at once. So they get the persuasion paradigm, the body language, $1 million language, personality types, in demand, the audio, So we add the whole thing up, and the total value, if they were to buy this a la carte, is $1,845. It was kind of like Darren when he was selling one package for $245 and something else for $300 and someone else for $47, people would just buy the $47 thing. If you want to make a lot more money, you want to start packaging your offers. Here's why. People want to have a win and people look for deals. So instead of just selling, if someone could just buy a $33 thing instead of a $1,000 thing, they'll buy the $33 thing. And people like deals though. If you can truly and authentically give them $3,000 worth of value for only $1,000, then they're going to say yes to that $1,000 offer. So when I'm selling, I want to show people that there's huge value in what I'm going to sell and that they're going to get a win by buying with me. So the total value is $1,845. And frankly, I've sold every one of these things on here for the price you see. I've sold Reading Body Language for $150. I've sold Persuasion Paradigm for $495. But instead of selling a la carte, I'd rather give them a discount and sell in a package. Now, why do I want to give a discount? Well, I'm going to make more overall, but also it gives them more reason to buy. Plus, I'm a big believer when people work with you, take care of them. Do everything you can to really make a difference for them, to help them. So add till you feel like you can't add anymore. Then add one more thing, and there's your package offer. So literally, I'll show this. I'm pointing to my screen like you can see me. So literally, I'll show this on the webinar, or I'll show this from stage, and I'll show the total value is $1,845. And then I go to a slide like this. Actually, that top number should be $1,845. And say your risk-free investment is $1,845. And then what I'll do is I'll say, but you guys, you're not going to pay $1,845 today. And I'll say, put a line through that. Your investment today is only going to be $1,200 or whatever my price point is. I hope that didn't get too confusing because that number at top is a mistake. But instead, what I would do is I'd say your total investment is not $1,845. Cross that out. It's going to be $1,200 today. So they'll save $600 because they buy the whole package. So I'm looking for success stories, by the way. I think you've heard a lot about what I do, but I want you to know personally why I do it. Please write this down, emotional impact story. What I'm about to share with you is my emotional impact story. And those of you who got my template, you'll see in the template right before the offer, it says emotional impact story. It's, I could just get on here and deliver info, and I'd be happy to. I love doing the Facebook Live with Dave and Jen. But I have a passion for activating people to go forward and be their greatest and to make money that they can make. And it all coalesced with Olga. So I told you I did that USA Victory Tour. Olga had been a client of mine for years. She came through my personal development seminars I used to do back in 2004. And we became friends and we'd keep in touch. And I hadn't heard from Olga for a while. And so Olga calls me and says, Jase, I'm sorry I've been out of touch. But she was actually from Russia. She has this beautiful Russian accent, but I do it horribly. So I'll do like one line in Russian and then I'll just go back to English. She goes, Jase, I'm sorry I've been out of touch. I've been in America. She lived in Canada at the time. America, trying to get pregnant. All right, that's enough of my Russian. So
Jase,
yes.
She sounds Italian.
Maybe she needs to change her backstory. So, yeah, okay, I'll quit doing the accent then. I got the message. So Olga had, when she was a little girl, she had heart problems, and she grew up in Russia. She had these heart challenges. So she learned she had to hold herself back. And now it's time for her to step up. She wants to be a speaker. And I was up in Canada working with her and her husband on a breakthrough process. And there was this river, and I said, Olga, jump in the river, as a metaphor for jumping into being a speaker. And she goes, no, I don't see the point. She never jumps in. So fast forward, it's 2013. I'm about to do the USA Victory Tour, and I get a call, and it's Olga. She says, Jase, I've been in America. I was trying to get pregnant, and my doctors are mad at me because the fertility treatments I took may have harmed my heart even further. I'm going in to find out what happens. So then I get a call the day before I'm starting the Victory Tour, and it's Olga, and Olga says, I'm in the hospital, and I'm having open heart surgery tomorrow, and yeah. So I said, you will do anything to avoid being a speaker. So I said, I'm going to pray and let's hope everything comes out all right. So we hung up the phone, and I had a video crew with me. We filmed the whole tour, and I turned to HB, who was my videographer, and I started crying, and then I got mad. And I got so mad for two reasons. One was I may lose my friend. Who knows what's going to happen with Olga? But the bigger reason I got mad is because if Olga died, her mission died with her. She had this mission and this message she wanted to share with the world, and she never took the leap to do it. She never stepped up to be who she could be. She never stepped up to make the sales she could make, to spread her message through webinars, through public speaking, through really doing profitable presentations. She never did it. And that was more heartbreaking to me than anything. So the next day, we start the victory tour. And I was on the news in Las Vegas in the morning. We're driving to Salt Lake City. And I get a text from Joe, her husband. And he says, and it's during the surgery. And he says, well, the greatest thing happened to Olga last night. She came to God. And then he texts the next line. He says, she's in God's hands now, but I have peace knowing no matter what, I'll see her again someday. So now she's in God's hands. What does that mean? Right? So now I'm crying, and I'm driving and crying, and my staff is like, should we pull over? And my only answer was, I don't know. And I said, I don't know, because I knew if I pulled over, I might never get to Salt Lake. And Salt Lake was the beginning of this tour where we're going to make a difference. And I knew when I'd speak and I'd tell my stuff, I would change someone's life. I knew someone was waiting for me. And I'm telling you, if you're listening, someone is waiting for you to step up and speak. Someone is clamoring for you to get there, and you need to start spreading your message and making more sales through profitable presentations. So I'm crying my eyes out driving now. So it seemed like, the safe thing I should do is pull over. So I wound up switching with one of my team members, and they drove the rest of the way. And we got to Salt Lake, and sure enough, lives changed. And I'm telling you this story for two things. One, you have less time than you think. And if you want to step up in your business, in your life, you have got to step to the mic. Whether that microphone is on a webinar or whether that microphone is in person, it's time for you to start doing public presentations. At a minimum, you have to learn one-to-one sales. Like, really master it. No one who is very successful in business has gotten there without being great in communication. I don't care what you're selling. If you have not been pouring yourself into studying how to communicate and sell, then I know your business is not where it could be. I found 5% of people study how to sell, how to communicate, and study how to use public speaking to grow their business. And about 5% of businesses succeed. The 95% who don't. So we're now in Salt Lake City, and I'm about to go on stage, and I get another text from Joe, and Joe says, please pray for the last hour of Olga's surgery. Yeah, and me too. I said, what? And I text him back. I said, what are you talking about? You said she's in God's hands now. And he doesn't text me back till the next day. And he texts me the next day, and he says, oh, everything went perfect. The surgery was better than could be expected. I said, what are you talking about? You said she's in God's hands now. And he texts back and he says, oh, I meant it's in God's hands now. I said, you're about to be in God's hands now. So you guys, one word was the difference in that whole sentence. It's in God's hands versus she's in God's hands. You want to know why your sales aren't where they can be? Because you haven't mastered every single word. You must master your language patterns in your sales to make sales. One word, in my experience of that conversation with Joe, was the difference of life and death for Olga. One word could be the difference in life and death of your business. One word, one phrase, one presentation can make your business. So, will you be the next success story? Are you going to be the person who makes it happen? Whether you're saving for your kids' college, planning for retirement, maybe you want to go on that dream vacation with your family, buy that dream car, or even buy that dream house. So how can you get there? It's the secrets of profitable presentation. And the number one thing I want to share with you about profitable presentations is something called the one-stage crush it. Now, here's how the one-stage crush it works. Suppose you speak and there's 50 people in the audience and you close 20%. That's a good close rate, and that's a close rate that's doable by anyone. Just so you know, If you close at 20%, you're going to get a lot more stages. So if you do a 20% close rate with a $1,000 offer, that means you're going to have 10 people purchase at $1,000. That means you made $10,000 in sales and you got 10 new clients from one speaking gig. That's a good day's work. So now if you do this 6 times a year, you're looking at 60,000 in sales and 60 new clients. Now, 60,000 for some people is big stuff, but for some people that's nothing. But now let's look at the upsells. You have 60 new clients, and if you are good, or even average, if you're serving them well, you could get a 30% close rate. Good, you'd get a 40 or 50% close rate because they know you better, they like you more, they trust you more, you've helped them get results. So then you can sell them a $10,000 package. So that means you have 18 sales on a $10,000 package. That's $180,000 in upsells. Now, if you're sitting at home thinking, well, I don't have a package or an upsell, you do, you just don't know what it is yet. Also, when you start speaking and doing profitable presentations, more people will want to work with you, your standing will go up, your status as an expert will go up, and you'll have more opportunities to create high-level packages and masterminds where people just want to be around you and get closer to you, so they'll pay more for your expertise because you're a speaker now. So that's 180,000 in upsells. So 60,000 in sales on the front end plus 180,000 in upsells is 240,000. Now that's a pretty good year. Now let's look, what if you can start getting on some bigger stages? What if you spoke with 250 people in the audience, still did a 20% close rate with a $1,000 offer, but you got better and you got invited onto a bigger stage. They saw that you could close on the small stage. By the way, you've got to be able to close on small stages to move to the big stages. You've got to practice small to get big. So that means 20% of 250 means 50 people purchase from you at 1,000 each. That means 50,000 in sales and 50 new clients. Now that's cool. You're helping 50 people. If you do this 6 times a year, you're going to have 300,000 in sales and 300 new clients. I have seen so many people catapult their business to the next level of success because exactly this. So now you have 300 new clients, and let's look at the upsell potential here. 30% close rate on a $10,000 package. That's 90 sales times 10,000. That's 900,000 in upsells. I have seen people do this, and this is how you can break that $1 million mark in your business really fast in 1 year. So it's 300 new clients, 300,000 in sales on the front end, 900,000 in upsells, 1.2 million. Now that's a year I can handle. How about you? So do you want to get 1.2 million? How do you crush it? If you're taking notes, you want to write this down. There's 3 steps to crushing it. Step 1, master one-to-one sales. Step 2, master platform sales one-to-many. And step 3, master the formula for profitable presentations and bring it together live. So why do we have to master one-to-one sales? Because the skill sets that go into platform speaking is one-to-one sales. All sales are one-to-one sales, except that the platform sales layer on another level of complexity and skill sets. But if you don't have the one-to-one sales, you won't be good on the stage. So get really good at one-to-one sales, then master the platform, and then master the formula for profitable presentations and bring it together live. I'll share with you that formula in a moment. So let's talk about mastering one-to-one sales. How can you do that? I have a program called How to Sell More, The Secrets of One-to-One Sales. That starts with the persuasion paradigm. The persuasion paradigm is my step-by-step system for sales. It's how to create rapport, how to find out what they want, how to anchor your offer to their wants, how to create a better close. I have a whole section on there on how you create a better close, and then how to avoid refunds. The real world value on this is $495. Now, as a part of one-to-one sales, you also need to know when to close. If you close too early, you lose the deal. If you close too late, you lose the deal. It's kind of like, if I can use the example of a guy going to kiss a girl. If he goes for the kiss too early, what happens? He loses the kiss opportunity. If he goes too late, he loses the kiss opportunity. So you got to know when to close or when to kiss. So how do you do that? By reading body language. You have to know buying signals, selling signals. Better negotiation comes out of this because you'll know when people are able to pay more or willing to take a discount because you'll be able to read their body. You're going to have improved communication with not just business, but your family, and you're going to be able to close with confidence because you'll know hey, they're ready to buy, or I need to back up to give some more information. So wouldn't that be nice to be confident and know when to ask for it? So that is an audio plus a workbook, and the investment for that is $150. The $1 million language. I have seen so many people kill deals because they say the wrong thing. We want to stop saying the wrong thing. We want to use our words to subconsciously influence yourself and your audience and your prospect. So these are language patterns that create action and success. All masterful people in sales have studied language patterns, and there's a ton of info. I've made it really simple. It's a 1-hour training on audio plus this workbook, and I'll be sending you the PDF of the workbook, and you'll be able to go through this in an hour, and you'll be so much better at sales, and you'll start saying the things that cause deals. Also, if you have kids or a spouse, you'll begin to use language patterns with them that encourage them and that build them up instead of accidentally tearing them down. Real world value on that is $150. Then there's speak their language and make the sale. Personality types is so critical for sales. Here's why. Typically, you sell the way you buy. So if you're detail oriented, you give everybody details. Well, not everybody wants details, and you might bore people to death. On the other hand, if you're someone who is real results oriented, you're going to cut to the chase, but maybe you're dealing with someone who wants you to build a relationship. You're going to fry them out and they're not going to buy from you. So what you must do, let me back up. And when I say you must do, you don't have to do anything. You only have to do any of this if you want to make more sales. So if you could recognize their personality type, then couldn't you speak their language or personality type? Couldn't you give them information in the way they'll receive it? And if you could do that, wouldn't it help you make more sales? Like if they want fun, you make it fun. If they want results, you give them results. So here's how we do it. You get more deals, better relationships, more effective presentations, and you know the right thing to say. Now there's a ton of training of personality types, but what makes this one different is it's designed specifically for sales. What could just one more sale a month do for you? How valuable could it be if you could quit losing deals and make more sales? So the retail value on this, $150. And then position yourself to be chosen. Here's how I created this product. I have a friend, and she said, hey, I met this really neat businesswoman. Maybe you guys could do some work together. She also does seminars. You guys should meet. I said, all right. So we scheduled a coffee. And I showed up for the coffee, and this business lady was really warm, nothing romantic, but she was really warm and open to working with me. And it was kind of unusual. She was so open to working with me, it kind of fried me out. So I actually stopped the meeting and I said to her, hey, can I ask you, you seem really open and we've just met. And she said the words that changed my life. She said, oh, I Googled you. I watched your videos. I read all your stuff. I feel like I know you already. Let me say that again. I Googled you. I watched your videos. I read your stuff. I feel like I know you already. I thought to myself, this is the coolest. What would it be like for you if you didn't have to sell yourself when you showed up? What would it be like for you if you could just show up and they already wanted to work with you? That's what you can do with this one. It's called In-Demand Marketing 2.0 because it's about how to leverage media and social media so that you become in demand. So the way I created the course is after that meeting with that woman, I went home and I said, what did I do that made that work? And I scripted it out. I put in a whole bunch of marketing material and I taught it a few times in a seminar, and I charged $600 for the seminar. And then I got the information really concise and tight, and I put it on a 2 video set. So people choose you. Easier and quicker deals. Draw clients to you. Have you ever had the pain of someone working with someone else instead of you? You don't have to do that anymore. People will choose you instead of the competition because you'll be seen first and able to have immediate trust. What could this be worth to your business? Thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars. You get to walk in with a relationship and walk out with the deal. So the real world value of that is only $150, but what that could do for your life is, well, who knows what that could mean? That could mean millions of dollars. Then there's Right Killer presentations, how to get the deal closed, a script that works, make great videos, use for your speeches, website, blogs, TV, radio, and interviews. This is my template for presentations. Normally I charge $150 for that template. and your confidence boost. Are you ever nervous before you speak? Do you ever not speak because you're nervous? Are you ever nervous before sales presentation? What would it be like for you if you could be completely confident? And here's really what this is about. I'm going to rebrand this program because it stands for the Unlimited Persuasion Zone. But what it's really about is getting in the selling zone, but not the selling zone like kill, 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 just make the deal. The selling zone, like go serve them. That's someone's family. That's someone's mother, sister, father, brother, child. Go make a difference in their life. And when you quit looking at yourself in sales and you focus on serving others, your sales will explode. So the way I recommend you use this audio is listen to it before your next presentation. Listen to it before your next one-on-one sales meeting. I had a woman who was in network marketing and she was struggling, and I gave her one of these and she listened to it every time she had a presentation. And I saw her like a year later, she said, Jase, the only thing I've done different is listen to that one CD, and I've gone from struggling to now I hang out with the owners of my company. So for you, whatever business you're in, you must be doing sales presentations. Listen to this before it so that you'll be excited. You'll be in the Unlimited Persuasion Zone. It's like your own personal pump up with me, encouragement to tell you to do it, power, ability, excitement for your next sale. Retail value on that is $150. And then the Go-To Expert Marketing Blueprint. I am so proud of this thing. You're going to love it. This is what you need to do to grow your business and position yourself as the expert in the field. How to serve your clients better, 5 ways to make more money with the same clients, which is super cool, a comprehensive positioning plan so you can get true PR and media. Value on that is $245. So mastering one-to-one sales system, here's the entire system, the persuasion paradigm, $495, reading body language, $1 million language, personality types, in demand, the UpZone audio download, detail your life, Go-To Expert Blueprint, total value is $1,590, but you are not going to pay that because you're with NAMS. Because you're with NAMS and you're here watching this, not $1,590, your risk-free investment is only not $1,500, not even $1,400, not even $1,300. In fact, I don't even want to tell you yet how low it's going to be, because I want to tell you about the second step. If you really want to crush it, you have to master one-to-one, and then step 2, master one-to-many sales. See, this is where you learn the secrets of platform persuasion, and that's with my one-to-many masterclass. So this is Ayelet. She says she's a doula, and she actually lives in Israel. She has 2 things she does. One, she works as a doula. The other thing she does is teaches other doulas how to be better at being a doula, delivering babies, and then also how to treat their business like a business and grow it. So she pitched her program the way I taught her. 4 people signed up on the spot. Now, she was initially super nervous and going to offer like a $200 program. Remember the value stack? We put together a value stack. We added more value for her prospects. So here's what happens for her. In 1 week of just beginning to work with Jase, I gave a presentation that earned me over $4,000. I'm teaching these women something that's going to change so many lives. What could be better than that? So what happened was we created, I think it was an $800 package for her, and she sold 5 of them in just like 2 or 3 presentations. And these weren't big presentations. She was presenting to 3, 4, 5 people at a time. So she closed 5 out of 15, and that made her $4,000. What could that do for your business? If all you did was made an extra $4,000 a month, would it be worth it? If all you did was learn how to close 5 out of 15, which is a 30% close rate, would that be worth it? I think so. You don't have to get on huge stages to make a lot more money. You just have to start doing public presentations, and that includes anything from 5 people to 5,000. Here's Ken Sherman. So what Ken does, he's with GoPro Local. He's based in Phoenix, Arizona. Ken actually sells these packages. Well, before he just had services. Now he has packages where he helps people become published best-selling authors on Amazon. And the reason he helps them do that is so they're positioned and they make more sales. So Ken took my training, and he wrote me this afterwards. He said, "Thank you for giving me the confidence and organization to effectively sell from stage." I love this next part. "It was exactly what I needed to take my speaking career to the next level. Now this is the part I love. my first sales presentation to a small audience of 11 business owners. So get this, it's Ken's first speaking. He's only speaking to 11 people, but let's see what he does. 32,000 in revenue to my business. One speech to 11 people resulted in 32K in revenue. If you're asking yourself, if this is this for me, I want you to ask yourself this question. Are you someone who wants to sell more? Are you someone who wants to help more people? Are you someone who wants to make more money? If you said yes to any of those, then don't you think this might be for you? And you might not know how you're going to package it yet. You might not know where you're going to speak. We're going to take care of that. I'll tell you how in a minute. So that's what Ken did. And this is the best part. He feels like there's no limit to what he can accomplish thanks to your guidance. Thanks, Ken. You are awesome. So Secrets of Platform Persuasion, the one-to-many masterclass. This is where first you're going to start with my home study course. As soon as you register today, you're going to get an email from me, and you'll be able to download the home study course and jump right in. And then in August, we're going to start the Platform Persuasion Masterclass. It'll be an online class. If you ever miss any of the classes, you can make them up later. The video will be available to you for you to watch. And here's what we're going to cover. How to sell to groups in person or online. The value of that training is $297. How to create a compelling close. And we're going to talk about the value stack and packaging your offer. I've written enough. Okay, so when I write a presentation for someone one-to-one, I typically charge $10,000 and up. And I've worked with enough people now that I've come up with packaging that fits almost across any spectrum of business. And so whatever you're in on this course, we're going to have information that you can use to create a much more valuable close, a much more compelling close, so more people say yes, but also so you serve your clients better. You're going to write an intro that sells. I once spoke and I did really well in the sales, and one of the people in the audience hired me to come speak to his group a couple years later. And remember I talked about that one stage crush it? The part I didn't talk about is this. When you crush it on one stage, other stages open up. It's just like dominoes. So Greg hired me to come out to Houston and work with him. And here's the value of an intro that sells. Greg told me when I went out to Houston, I was hanging out with him and speaking on his behalf. He said, you remember the first time you spoke and I saw you speak live? And I said, yeah. He said, 10 minutes into your presentation, I leaned over to my business manager and I said, I don't know what this guy is selling, but whatever it is, we're buying. Wouldn't you like that? If you could have the sale in the first 10 minutes. And I think if you nail the intro, you will nail the close. How to rock the platform, stage movement, and anchoring. These are the secrets of subliminal movement and subliminal anchoring emotionally on a stage. If you don't know this, you could get yourself, you could lose sales and have a poor performance and not know why. If you do know this, you'll make way more sales. These are the kind of secrets other speakers don't like that I teach, but I like teaching them because I'm passionate about public presentations and I want you to win. How to tell stories that sell to the subconscious. This is so important. We touched on it today. So you're going to learn the format for telling stories. You're going to create killer keynote and PowerPoints. And I showed David and Jen some of these secrets at our mastermind last time. There's ways that you can position things on the screen and leverage off of other experts to help you sell more. I'm going to share with you how to do that. That class is $297. How to get $1 million testimonials and reviews. We talked about testimonials earlier. Most people do them wrong. I've created a video and I have a worksheet all about how to do testimonials, and then we're going to go over it on the master class. Now, what's great is we're going to do these on Zoom, so it's going to be two-way communication, and you can ask me questions. We'll have Q&A time and time to brainstorm on your particular business. Just that access alone is worth more than you're going to pay for this whole thing. You're also going to learn how to use comedy and speaking in sales, because we like to say funny makes money. Oh, I needed a drink. What does that mean, funny makes money? Sales is based on emotion and backed up with logic. If you can get someone laughing and crying, you will move their heart. If you move their heart, you will move their life and you'll make a difference. If you move their heart and you move their life, you will move their pocketbook and you will make more sales. So a way to touch the heart is to be funny. You can use comedy in your presentation to overcome objections, to make a point, to get people moved. And really, when someone can be humorous without being a clown, but intentionally funny, it will elevate your social standing. And if you can give the audience a good time, you will be invited back over and over and over again. And then how to get gigs. We're going to talk about, you may have no clue how to get a gig right now. I'm going to share that with you. Now, you notice it's one of the later steps because we need to get you competent. When you rock a stage, word spreads. When you bomb a stage, word spreads. So I want to get you trained up. As one of my first mentors said to me, it's your downtime efforts that determine your uptime results. And so for you, this is your downtime. This is the time to invest. This is the time to train. This is your off season so that by October, we can get you rocking so that as you go through this, you're going to start making, well, I can guarantee you what will happen. But if you listen to my home study course, if you get it today and plug it in, I know when you get that home study course, I know when you go and sign up, you listen to it, you're going to be more confident. You're going to have the skills to sell more. You're going to quit sabotaging deals. Your sales are going to go up. In August, we're going to start this master class. And I have another surprise to tell you about in a moment. So testimonials, I have a presentation I did on how to get testimonials and how to use them in the different types of testimonials. Now, this is really cool, and why it's $497 is I've already created the slide deck. I've written this whole presentation, and I have a video of it. I'm going to give you permission to use this. Now, why would you want to do that? The whole presentation is about the different types of testimonials and how to use them when you're speaking and selling. Well, what I did when I did this presentation is I made all the testimonials about my business. So I'm teaching this group of about 300 business owners how to use testimonials. But coincidentally, every testimonial happened to be about my business, but they didn't feel like they were being sold because I was teaching. So what happened was at the end of my presentation, I made a very soft offer and I sold like crazy. I think you can do the same thing. You'll be able to go on the master class. You're going to learn what kind of testimonials you need because we have that a few weeks prior. And then you're going to collect a bunch of testimonials, and then you could create this presentation and go to your chamber of commerce or any business meeting and go in there and knock it out of the park, teaching them how to get testimonials. But meanwhile, suddenly all the testimonials will be talking about you, and people are going to be clamoring to work with you. So this whole system, add it all up, it's $3,170, but that's not what you're going to pay. In fact, the price for you, because you're on this call and you have I have limited time to register for this, and I have some specials, by the way, for the first 10 people. I'm going to share with that in a minute. The investment for you is free. That's right. You're going to get this absolutely free. So you get the persuasion paradigm, the body language, billion-dollar language, personality types, in demand, upzone audio, detail your life, go-to expert blueprint video, secrets of platform persuasion. If you add that whole thing up, the total value is $4,760. Because you're in NAMS and because you're on this call, that's not your investment. Your risk-free investment is, I already told you, it won't be $1,300. It won't be $1,200, not even $1,100. Your investment today for those that take action right now, and you guys, really, this is a limited time offer. I have people who bought much less than this for a lot more money than this. This is a screaming deal. Your investment one time only is $997. This is your investment. And I give you my ironclad money back guarantee. Take action now. Use the whole program for 60 days. If you aren't overwhelmed by how powerful and easy it is to do this system, simply let me know. I'll give you a full refund because I know this. I know once you apply the system, you'll see powerful results. Over and over and over, I have people use my home study course and learn my secrets of platform persuasion, and they call me, they email, they text me about how much more money they're making, and the same thing can happen for you. You can get huge results, but you got to train. So why am I giving you this huge discount? 3 reasons. First reason, I love NAMS. I met a bunch of you at the live training, and I just love David and Jen. They are the best. And when I meet people that are doing good work like David and Jen are, I want to help them and I want to help their community. So that means I want to help you. I want to help David and Jen, and I want to help their community, and that includes you. Because I think with David and Jen, you've got everything you need to do your marketing, get people in your funnels. If your business isn't where you want to be, probably 2 things are missing. Your sales skills for one-to-one sales are off, and or you're not speaking from stages, webinars, and public presentations to grow your business. If you combine what you have with NAMS with the capacity to sell more, what's going to happen? Here's probably one of the reasons you don't have the sales you want. You're probably a little nervous or a little scared. Some of the people at the beginning of this webinar were sharing why they're not speaking yet. They're not scripted yet, or they're nervous, or they don't know if they have what it takes. You do, and here's the tools to get great. And I got to say this. Great speakers, great presenters, great salespeople are not born, they are made. You guys, I learned all of this. I created some once I learned it, but at the beginning, I had to learn all of this, and then it synthesized and I could create my own thing. But I wasn't naturally a salesman. I wasn't naturally charismatic. I was terrified to get on a stage. I remember my first interview as a kid. I was on TV, and I feel so bad for the poor TV guy. He's trying to interview me, and I'm giving him one-word answers. I was so clammed up. Now I've gone from that to I feel like the stage is my home. Nothing excites me more than a public presentation. That's what it's about. So those are the first two reasons I'm giving you this absolutely huge discount. This is such a deal because NAMS and David and Jen I love. I want to help their community, and that means helping you. And then here's the third one. My coach challenged me. I have a business coach, and I want to help more people, and I have certain income goals I want to hit. But more importantly, I want to help people help other people. And I feel like I've been gifted with certain talents and abilities, and if I don't share them, I'm really robbing myself and I'm robbing other people. And have you ever felt like it was your time to step up? Have you ever felt like you were made for more? Have you ever felt like you were made for greatness, but maybe you're not there? I want to help you get there, and I want to bring you with me because I'm on that journey. So the third reason I'm giving you this discount is I was challenged by my business coach to help 100 people grow their business by being at my course and doing it in just the next couple of months. So that's my goal, is to beat her deadline and sign up 100 people and help 100 people grow their business as fast as possible. That is public presentation. So your real world value, the deal you're getting because of Jen and David and the community you're in and because of my business coach. Instead of $4,760, your risk-free investment is only $997. That's right, $997. And I know you're going to be in one of three places right now. You're either like, I want it, hurry up, show me how to get it. I'm going to show you how to get it in a second. Maybe you're in the space of, I really want it, but I'm not sure about the money. Or maybe you're in the space of, I need to think about it. Whatever space you're in, if you want it and you're ready to get it, 3, 2, 1, get it now. There's the link to go get it. And if you're someone who's concerned about the cash flow, you can do 3 payments of $345. We've made it as easy as we can. On payment plans, normally I would charge more, but Jen talked me down. And you can pay with credit card, PayPal, or even PayPal credit. So you can buy it with any one of those. There's the link, https://nams.ws/SOPP. SOPP stands for Secrets of Profitable Presentation. So we have made this as easy as we can, as no-brainer as we can. So I have a special offer for the first, I'm going to do 20 people that register. For the first 20 people that register, I'm going to print up my workbooks and I'll have them waiting for you when we meet in person. Also, for the first 20 that register, if you would like to share with me your presentation, or if you're stuck in sales or you want some coaching or brainstorming, I normally charge $10,000 to work with people, but I'm just going to waive any fee, and I'm going to give you a free half-hour consultation with me to use any way you want. So we can look at your sales, we can look at where your sales funnel might be broken, or we can help you with if there's any mental games we need to play or things we need to do to get you really fired up to go sell and grow your income. We can look at your scripting. If you have a presentation, I can look at your presentation. So normally a half hour with me would be $250. That's a bonus just for the first few people. So I'm going to get that one available. And then one more thing. Step 3, master the formula for profitable presentation. So a couple of questions for you. Do you want to excel at the #1 way to grow your business? Public presentations are the #1 fastest way to grow your business. Would you like to be admired and respected by influencers within your industry? Do you want the skills to make your audience take immediate action? And I got to point something out here. This webinar is about doing webinars, but I think by now it should be pretty clear that this is really about any kind of presentation, whether it's a webinar or it's live or whatever involves a group, either 5 people, 500, or 50. There's other trainings out there about how to do webinars, but they don't really teach you the secrets that you need to know. And I've seen far too many people waste money on trainings that don't work. I don't want you to be one of those. I want you to be someone who knows how to have your audience take immediate action. Now, that starts with you. How you buy is how you sell. So fire your own starting gun. Do you want to gain the ability to make outstanding, memorable, and effective videos? Do you want your audience to like, refer, and spend loads more money with you? And would you like the ability to cherry pick your clients and in doing so, charge more? If you said yes to any of that, then it's time for you to master the formula for profitable presentations at the Profitable Presentations Live 3-day experience. This is my 3-day course I teach in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. Here's a little group of participants we took out, and we like to go have some fun during the events. We like to make it a good time. Here's us at a Vegas show. One of the things we do is we encourage you guys while we're out there, and we take our VIPs. We say, hey, if you want to learn how to be masterful on stage, let's study the masters. So the formula for profitable presentations, here's what we focus on at the live 3-day event. The formula is a great script plus great delivery plus a great you. So we're going to really dive into the scripting. You're going to see me deliver on stage as well as my co-trainers. And then we do breakthrough exercises so that you are confident and excited to be on stage. Now, you don't have to do anything when you're there. You could sit in your chair the entire time, but we make it fun and easy to step out and step up. If you feel like it's time you got to the next level, if you feel like it's time you really leave behind that shyness or leave behind that holding yourself back, if you think it's time you really shine, if you think it's time you make that money you know you're capable of making, Profitable Presentations Live would be just the answer for you. So it's time. It's time to bring out a better you. It's time to be comfortable on stage. It's time to be funny. It's time to master the art of storytelling. Now, we're going to go over this on the classes on the Zoom, but there's nothing like sharing it live. There's a magic to it. It's time you're excited about your next presentation. If you got excited about your presentations, how much more would you sell? And how many more presentations would you book? It's time to own the room. It's time to be the person people can't wait to see. How would you like it if you walked in and people were just hanging on your every word, so excited you were there? You're worth it, and it's your time. It's time for your message to be heard. It's time for your business to explode. Now is the time to have a blast doing all this. Now is the time to exceed even your own expectations. It's time for you to become a profitable presenter. This is Andy Tolbert. She came to Profitable Presentations Live. She is owner of Safer Agent. She teaches agents how to stay safe, basically. And so Andy had been selling her trainings and charging a couple hundred bucks here and there. She took my training. She learned how to package up. She learned how to become more dynamic, and she learned how to believe in herself more. And here's a big key. Your speaking is about your mission and making a difference, and she got how important it was. So she had an opportunity recently to put together a contract, and she was running the numbers. And instead of selling them just a little thing, she packaged it up. She got her value. She signed a $6,600 contract. So there's the number she got. She went from a couple $100 to a $6,600 contract. Way to go, Andy. This is Blaze Ingrazano. He's a business owner from Long Island, New York. He says he's built better relationships with the audience he presents to, and tell me if you think this is worth going to Profitable Presentations Live. He's asked to come back and speak again and again. His gross monthly income went from $36,000 to $63,000. He went from 18 presentations to 16 presentations in 2016. He came through the program in 2015. I've been doing this for a few years. I have experience. So the reason he made this jump in income is because he made this jump in presentations. Public presentations are the #1 fastest way to grow your business. And if you're willing to speak more, you can do what Blaze did. Look at that. He increased his presentations. He increased his monthly. If you're considering working with Jase, you should know it is about a lot more than being a better speaker. It's about being a better you from the inside out and getting to know and like yourself a whole lot better. I pray that you get that, and I wish that for you. I want you to know yourself inside out and like yourself a whole lot better. So here's Chad Hett. He owns a company in Orange County, California, and they have a team of marketing reps that works there. So Chad said their company does over 400 presentations a year. We attended Secrets of Profitable Presentations because I realized we weren't converting as well as we could. Then he went on to say, we learned the right mindset for speaking, delivery, and how to connect with the audience. And then he continued, by mastering these things, our business will be taken to a whole new level. Now, I got this testimonial from Chad right after the event, and I followed up with Chad a year later. I texted him, and here's what he said. He said, I said, how are you guys doing with your numbers? So he said, let me look. I said, okay, thanks. He said, we've had a 12.3% increase in sales, added approximately $38,000 in monthly revenue, annual increase of 48 presentations. Now, he already has a multi-million-dollar company, but my point is, if he can do that with a big company that's already doing well, if we can help a big company add $38,000 a month, if you're new, your percentage increase will be bigger. You're probably not going to go up by $38,000 a month right away, but if you're closing around $5,000 to $10,000 a month and you're not speaking, and you start speaking, you can jump that number up huge. And if you're closing under $5,000 a month, you can jump it up huge. So whatever level you're at, whether you're a starter or you're someone who's in that $200,000 a year range, $500,000, I think you've seen some of the testimonials. We have what it takes to jump you to that next level. So training like this is valued at $34.95 a person. Typically, it's valued at about $1,200 a day. When I sell this event, I usually discount it to $1,000 per person. So if someone was going to get 2 tickets at $1,000 each, it'd be a $2,000 value. And this isn't hyperbole. I really sell this program for $1,000 a person. I have one coming up in August that's already booked and filled, and everyone there paid $1,000. So for you guys on NAMS, here's the deal. You get it free. So here's the whole package, the live event. Why am I giving you this? My life changed when I went to a seminar in Vegas, and I want to pass it on. Everything changed when I bought that first seminar and I went to Vegas, and I want to pass it on for you. I want to be someone who contributes to you being who you want to be. So here's Marcus Goodwin. He's a marketing rep for a company in Las Vegas. So I wanted to drop a note and say thank you for the training. My first presentation was the 3rd day after the program and was a rousing success. So literally the program ended on Saturday. Tuesday he does a presentation. It's a rousing success. We were invited back before even turning off the computer. How cool is that? He hasn't even shut the computer and they invited him back. And then, so let's talk about the whole thing. Here's the whole package, everything included: persuasion paradigm, body language, $1 million language, personality type, in demand, upzone audio, detail your life, go-to expert blueprints, 2 tickets to Profitable Presentations Live, the secrets of platform persuasion, one-to-many masterclass. If you total this whole thing up, the value is $6,760 for you because you're on this call today. Persuasion paradigms included, body language included, $1 million language included, personality types included, in demand included, upzone included, detail your life included, go-to expert marketing video included, 2 tickets included. That extra ticket, bring a marketing rep, bring your best friend, bring a business owner who rocks, bring someone who wants to make a difference and wants to make a lot of money. I want people like that in the room. Secrets of Platform Persuasion Masterclass, the one-to-many masterclass included. So the total value is $6,760. The NAMS special $997, and you get everything. So your risk-free investment for NAMS $6,700. Nope, $997. That's it. Or 3 payments of $345. If you can't afford $345 a month, you really need this. I mean, sell something, sell some jewelry. I don't know what you have to do. Call a friend, get someone to invest in you. If you have the money and you're ready to go, get going. It is your time. There's nothing like now. Remember, how you buy is how you sell. So here's the link, https://nams.ws/SOPP. This could be the difference maker for you. Everything on this page, only $997 or 3 payments of $345. As soon as you register today, right now, you guys are not rude by clicking off and going to another window. Go register right now. Everything on this page for $997. You can pay with credit card, with PayPal, or PayPal credit. I'm going to send you an email as soon as you register. You can download my home study course, and you're going to get a video from me also telling you what order to take everything in. So it's really doable. Just some of these courses are only an hour long. In 1 hour, your business could really make a difference. And I've had so many testimonials from people telling me that. Just $1 million language has made a huge difference for people's lives. Personality types has had families come back together. People have used the persuasion paradigm to close more deals. It's just, this could be the missing key for your income. This could be the thing that you have been looking for. So everything on this page, only $9.97 or 3 payments of $345. Also, if you have PayPal, you can pay with PayPal, or if you have PayPal credit, you can even use PayPal credit. The real world value over $6,000, your risk-free investment only $9.97. And frankly, I've had a bunch of people bought my product set and only 1 ticket to my event for $1,800. So you're getting an extra ticket and you're saving a ton of money. So congratulations on being on this call. I can't wait to see that you've got this and you're starting with the course. If you have questions, please contact me. And I look forward to meeting you live on the One-to-Many Masterclass and then in Las Vegas. Now, if you can't make it to Las Vegas in October, the package without the seminar is well worth it. But frankly, the seminar by itself is worth it. So if you can't make it this year, you could go next year. But I would encourage you, do everything you can to clear your schedule. It's not a pitch-a-thon. It is full high content. I have to do that because most of the people that are in the room paid $1,000 each. They didn't get a special like you did with NAMS. So thanks so much for being on and having me on. Jen or David, are you guys there? Do you want to jump back on?
This is an awesome value. It is just an awesome value. That's it. I think we've got all the questions answered so far. Jen, do you have any questions?
I don't. I just can't tell you how much working with Jase has really changed the momentum and the trajectory of our business. We have actually been able to make some really big decisions about where we're going to go and where we're moving in the future because of the success that we've been having directly because of you, Jase. So we have to thank you for that.
Oh, Eileen says that the PayPal credit works, that she did it. So that's great.
Okay, perfect.
Awesome.
Good. So
Did she, who was that? Was she the first person?
Yep, she was.
she was. Yep.
Who was it? I like to reward action. Who was that?
Eileen
That was
Ross.
Eileen
Ross, I am screen capping you right now, and I don't know what I'm going to give you, but I always recognize people who are first at the table, and so I'm going to give you a big surprise bonus. I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe it'll be like you know what I might do is for the first people that buy from this webinar, I'll do like the first 10, you're going to get the workbooks printed, and I'm going to hand you printed workbooks. Personally, I like having printed workbooks and a PDF. I like having both. So you're going to get printed workbooks when you show up for the event. And I'm thinking I might do like a private dinner or something, or a free extra training with the people from this call. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I think I'll do that for like the first 10 people who register from NAMS.
Well, and I appreciate you telling us.
Well, that leads right into my question. Sorry. My question was, would you be willing to do any presentation review for people? And I don't mean after they've given the presentation, but maybe the slides or something.
Yeah, what I'm going to do, I think I mentioned this earlier, for the first people, I'm going to give a free half-hour one-on-one consultation.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, that
and
would
they
work.
can use that for everyone. I know I gave you guys, I don't know if I've ever made a package that's this big. I mean, this is about me now, and I really like to make it more about you guys. But my coach challenged me to get 100, and I'm doing it. I'm getting that 100, and for 2 reasons. One, I've never had 100, and 2, I've helped so many people with having, you guys, here's the thing too about doing events. My events are typically 20, 25 people in the past. The bigger thing is I'm helping those 25 people radically improve their business. And then if I can help 100 people improve their business, we're making a big difference in the world. And that means more good people are making money. So more things get funded that need to happen in America and in the world, because more good people have money to direct it that way.
Yep.
Does that make sense to you guys, what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's my heart behind this.
Okay, Jase, I really, really appreciate you being here. I think we're
Yep.
going to close this down. People should go to nams.ws/SOPP. And that's where they're going to find this opportunity to get in. You get a 3-payment system. You get the PayPal credit if you need it. And you're going to have Jase. I mean, that's the deal. You're gonna have Jase. So jump on here. Make sure you do it. We'll see you in October. Okay. All right.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Talk to you soon.
Thanks.
Bye.